precious building.
You are more than the air.
I close to my heart.
See her face and know that she sees. Your reflection is more than you see. You are more than a phenom, lasting essence longer than eons. In the plateau that we on.
Welcome back to the Poetic Properties Podcast. I am your host, Kamplexx, the poet, father, author, and entrepreneur. I want to start off by apologizing for the lack of visual last week. Complete user error. I thought that I was recording, and it wasn't. So you can still hear the audio on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, whatever your choice of podcast listening. So again, I apologize, but I want to get right to it. For people who watch it on YouTube, you'll notice that I switched up the scenery. Sitting behind that table had me feeling kind of confined, like I was at a news desk. And I wanted to get a little bit more comfortable, more relaxed, more my setting, my feeling, so that I could be a little bit more free in how I deliver the pod, how I want to deliver it. So that being said, again, welcome, Poetic Properties. It's your boy. So this week has been a very challenging week just in regards to the business. I've been going back and forth with making new designs, locking the website, unlocking it, kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it. But ultimately, I just opened it up with the designs that I have on there. I'm still working on new ones, and I'll just upload them to the store as I see fit. But along that process this weekend, I just learned the importance, and I won't say I just learned because my brother talks about it to me all the time about being prepared. Like for whatever it is that you're trying to do at different levels, it's the preparation. Like preparation is key, and sometimes you have to prepare. Sometimes you have to prepare before you get to that point, you know what I mean? Or not sometimes. It's imperative that you are prepared for the level you are trying to reach. For me, I'm trying to get my businesses in line so that I could use that to, pay for things for my kids. And it's not that I'm trying to be famous or be ultimate, like be super wealthy, to the point to where it caused problems, but I'm trying to get to a position in all, 4 of my businesses so that I can take care of the kids with that, and I don't have to go through I don't have to use the 9 to 5 to kind of supplement and do that. But it's difficult because all this is, well, not the poetry and the books, that's not new to me, but the apparel, the release of the albums, stuff like that is very new to me. As you can see, one of them dropped, but it is what it is. But that's new to me, so I'm kind of learning on the fly. Do I want to change? Do I want to keep it a merch type situation, or do I really want to move it into a full brand type thing? And I'm leaning towards moving it to a brand, but I just have to be a little bit more focused on and do a little bit more research so that I'm comfortable as I take the correct steps, because a lot of times we think we're prepared for certain things and we move too soon. We have to, I'm learning that it's important to make sure that you are strong enough to say when you need to stand still, and then strong enough to understand, all right, it's time to move to the next level of what you're doing. It's when I first started really wanting to do this entrepreneur thing, everybody kept saying you need a website. And because they were saying that, I was like, oh, okay, I need a website. And so I paid for a website. I did it. And I really didn't like it because it wasn't time for me. It wasn't time for me because I had just started releasing the albums for the poetry. I just kind of really start letting people into my world. I'm sorry. I just started letting people into my world in regards to the poetry. So it was that creating that website was not the level I was at yet. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people who do listen to my poetry. I know a lot of people who have purchased the book, but it's a small group of people that it didn't require a website just yet. So I nixed that one. I don't use it or whatever. I still own it, but I just don't use it because it wasn't time for me to get there. Well, now as I'm moving forward and I'm doing my apparel and all that, that was preparation to get to where I am now. So now, in my entrepreneurship, I'm prepared to run my business online because of the time the time that I jumped to get the website, and I learned everything that that you're supposed to learn, but it was like, that's too much for me right now. So I put it to the side for a later date. Now I need those skills that I obtained through preparation. I learned that, and I want to encourage people this too, because this is what I learned. Old people call it keeping up with the Joneses when you're trying to, like if you see your homie and they buy a Benz, so you buy a Benz, or they buy a nice watch, you buy a nice watch, or they buy jewelry, you buy jewelry. The old people call that keeping up with the Joneses. And in today's world, keeping up with the Joneses is technology, right? Like you see somebody with a business and they have a website, so you get a website. Well, they do Square, so you do Square. And it's a back and forth of you just not making sure that you are prepared to tackle every issue that comes with the next level of what you're trying to do. It's important that, like I said, my brother told me, prepare like you're at your you prepare like you got the deal. Right? So even when you don't have nothing and you just doing it by yourself, prepare like you already got the deal. Be prepared for when somebody say, "Hey, I want to either buy your business from you, or I want to get in on your business." See, you're already ready for that. You don't have to scatter around and try to figure things out because you're already prepared. A lot of us, we just keep going to the next level, and we put all this money into this without knowing the obstacles that come with those next levels. It's all about, like I always say, patience, purpose, and order. And it's hard to do that in today's world because everything is so fast paced. Everything is so get to the money. But a lot of things die out because they're not prepared. Like they offer this service that they're not prepared. Like, I'll never forget, I was having a conversation with my brother, and he was telling me about his business. And he said, this is where I'm at. He said, something to the effect of somebody come in and order 1,000 pieces from me today, I'm not at 1,000 pieces because everything I do is handmade. You see what I'm saying? So that stuck with me for the simple fact that his mind works at a very high intelligence, and he's very strong-minded to where he knows, like, I can sell 1,000 pieces and make, and I'm just using this for example, I could sell 1,000 pieces and get $2 million, but are those 1,000 pieces going to be quality? Are those 1,000 pieces going to really represent who I am and the artist and person that I am? Or is it just going to reflect me just getting to the money? And so that stuck with me. So everything that I do, I try to make sure that I allow myself time to do it properly. I try to allow myself time. Like, I don't want to deliver things to, whether it's the poems, whether it's the books, whether it's apparel. Am I doing it properly? I don't want to just do it just because, all right, that person made that and that person made this, so I could do it. I have a hard time, and my people from my group chat, shout out to Leftover Lust on Twitter, but my friends in the group chat, they encourage me like, no, promote this, promote that, because I tell them it's hard for me to go under people's posts to post my business. Like, I see a lot of times somebody will what the kids say, go viral, right? The comment will go viral, or a celebrity will retweet it, and or you say something super funny and then it hits 20,000, 30,000 likes, retweets, etc. And then you see people under that post, not even the person who made the joke or who made the tweet or whatever, But you see other people listen to my album. I got this. I do art. Check out this canvas and stuff like that. And for me, I guess because I'm a little bit older, it seems weird to me. Because I feel like you have to create your own buzz, not get on somebody else's coattail and bombard them with that. You know what I mean? But today it's a different world. You know, I'm old, so it is what it is. But preparation is really key in doing what you're trying to do. It's really like, for me, I had to come to that real understanding of staying still. And I had to learn that for myself, because being a single dad for so long, you gotta go. You see what I'm saying? You gotta, if you have to work 2 jobs, if you have to work 3 jobs, if you have to work work overtime, you gotta go. So everything is so fast paced. So you're steadily trying to move to the next level, move at whatever cost, because you have all these things to take care of. And you get lost in that. You get lost in the day to day, because it's so much that you have to do. Like for me, the dad, the worker, the nurse, the doctor, the chef, the chauffeur, every single thing, teacher conference, doctors, like, all of that. And so you just keep moving. You're not thinking about, am I prepared to do this? Am I prepared to do that? You just go, because in your mind, I have these kids to take care of. I have myself to take care of. I'm doing it by myself, yada, yada, whatever. And you just go. But you have to truly understand the consequences of moving too fast. Everything has a natural consequence. And when you move to new levels and move to next stages too fast, it could crumble. Like everything that you worked for, it could crumble when you could have just been able to be patient. So it's good for, again, I said this a few podcasts ago. I might mention every podcast because sometimes I be just cycling. But self-awareness, self-reflection, self-care are real things. And when you are in your self-reflection and you're meditating and stuff like that, you get to a point to where you're able to balance who you are better. You're able to through calmness, you're able to see what you're supposed to see. You're able to decipher everything that's going on around you, within you, the things you're responsible for, the things that you think you're responsible for, but you're not really. So you're able to let those things go. You're able to move stuff around mentally so that you're able to function a little bit better. And it takes a moment to get there, to that understanding, because again, we all want to get to the money. We all want to get to a point to where we're free to do whatever that it is that we want to do. And it's important. It really is. It's important that we do get to that place where we want to get to, but it's more important to get there properly. It's more important to get there properly, because it's nothing like being prosperous in with a negative mind state. Like, you can make all the money, all the action, get all the attention, but on the inside, you're in such a negative headspace that there's no peace. And it comes with jumping out the window too fast. It comes with listening to people saying, oh, that's fresh. And it's like one person tell you it's tight. So then now you think that it's time for you to jump out the window with that idea because one person said it's fresh. And it takes strength. It takes strength because it's like we love to be encouraged. We love when people love our creativity and want to share our creativity. Like that's an important thing for us. But we have to be careful with that because life is perspective. And everybody has a different perspective about everything. Like you can put the same thing in front of one. You can put the same thing in front of 10 people and possibly get 10 different answers of what that thing is, of what they feel that thing is. So it's imperative that you are doing things because you feel like you are prepared to do that. You're willing to take the praise and the criticism, because everybody, like, it's so weird just in today's world, everything is criticized. And it's super weird to me where somebody could say something super positive and that's criticized. And if somebody has a different opinion, that's criticized. And you have to be strong enough for that. You have to be strong enough to be able to, say what you believe in or put out the product that you believe is a nice product. And you have to be able to stand on it. Like me and my son, like I said, in my business where I'm doing the apparel thing, there's certain things that I make with the intentions, I don't make things for my immediate family. And I know that sounds weird, but I'm not making it for them. If I did my brand and I based it off of my mom, my brother, my kids, my best friend, I would only do sweatshirts, hoodies, sweats. I know my people. You know what I mean? I'm doing this to reach a broader audience, so I don't expect my closest friends to like it. I don't expect the kids to be like, oh, that's fresh. I mean, even though some of the stuff, they do really like, some of the stuff they don't. And the stuff that they don't, I'm strong enough to let them know, hey, that's not for you. And you don't have to tell me it's nice. Because my oldest, he has this thing where whatever I do is fresh. Well, it doesn't matter what it is. Whatever I do to him is fire. And I'll be like, bro, I know your style. And a lot of this stuff you don't like for yourself. So you don't have to tell me, oh, Dad, that's fresh, that's fresh. To save my feelings, you can honestly be like, Dad, I don't get it, but it's not for me, but cool. And so we often have this conversation for him, it's just him understanding that he don't have to like everything, but me understanding and not being butthurt when he doesn't like everything. You know what I mean? Because you get used to it on both sides. I get used to him being like, "Go, that's fire," or whatever. But it's not about me because I'm preparing myself for the negative comments. If I can't handle my son telling me that I don't like that design on that shirt, or I don't like that design on that shoe, or I don't like that design in general, how am I going to, and he's 14, how am I going to continue to release my books? How am I going to continue to release my albums when I know they help people, but certain people will hear them and be like, that's the worst thing I ever heard. The flip side to that is somebody will hear that and it'll change their life. It'll change their life. So you have to know when it's time to, it's a bunch of stuff that he's like, oh, that's fresh. And I'll look at it again and nah, I'm not doing that. Because I've sat down, I've had my self-reflection on it. And as a creative, I'm sure certain, a lot of creatives can agree with this. You'll write something, whether it be a song, a poem, a script, or design something, paint something, create, sew something, and right in that moment, it be the most fire idea that you feel like you've ever had. And as you're going through that idea, it's super dupe, oh my God, I can't wait till it's done. And then when it gets done, you're like, nah. You get there and you have to be prepared. If you do that to yourself, imagine what a consumer or an art collector or anybody, collector of fine art or whatever, a connoisseur of music, imagine how they feel when you're not secure in putting out what you're putting out, right? So again, it's just about knowing what level that you're on, believing in what you're putting out, being prepared, so that when you like they say, you got to be prepared to get called up to the majors. So you can't be sulking that you're in AAA ball. You can't be sulking that you're on a practice squad in the NFL. You can't be sulking that you're on the G League in the NBA. The whole goal is to be prepared when the call comes. That goes along with everything. You can be doing something right now in your garage, in your living room, your bedroom right now, and you could feel like, man, one of these days it's going to hit. The day it hits, if you're not prepared, it doesn't mean nothing if you think it's fresh. Because you have to be able to articulate and deliver that thing to the next level. And if you're unable to do that from lack of preparation, then what? So I write like when I'm writing my poetry from whatever stance I'm writing it from. When I write that, I'm writing it like one day I'm gonna get a Grammy. And not that I care about Grammys, because I know that stuff is fixed or whatever. But every year though, I look at the spoken word, who got nominated, what it was nominated for, or who won, or yada yada, whatever. And I just look like, man, I know, no disrespect to them, but I know, my feelings in this particular book right here. I know if it got into the right hands, it'll mean something to somebody. I know it'll be important, but it's important to me. No award could make me feel better about the things that I put out, because I prepared for this. And I encourage my people, my creatives, like, don't be afraid. Like, at this point where we're in a time where we have access to everything we need. We no longer have to wait to get a publisher. Yeah, that would be nice to get in advance and all that, and top 1,000 New York bestseller, whatever. It'd be cool for all that. But we're in a time now to where we can record audio, video, put it out to the people ourselves. We don't have to wait for big budgets. We're in a time to where we can write our books and manuscripts and put them out. And we're in a time to where we can create movies, film our movies independently, put them out. Like, we don't have to wait for a green light from no one. But it's all about preparation. It's all about knowing it's all about knowing when it's, all right, I've done it myself. I've done it by myself for this long. I need to get help now. All right, boom, I have my team now. Now you cultivate your team of how you want it to run and everything like that. And then now it's time to start making those next moves. A lot of us think that we have to do everything by ourselves. I mean, a lot of stuff that, like, for me, I can do every single thing by myself. Do I want to? No. Eventually, will I get to a point where I want to hire someone? Yes. But right now, I'm not at that level yet. I can't hire no one to do what I don't fully understand myself, because the whole key of ownership is not so you can tell people what to do. The whole key of ownership is so that you can teach someone. I'm learning this on my journey, that life is about teaching and learning. And as you learn, you're supposed to be able to move up to the next thing. So then while you're moving up to that next level, you're supposed to be teaching someone else. For me, I have my kids. My kids want to, I talked to them this weekend or last weekend, and we were talking about what they wanted to be when they grew up. For me, when I was younger, like, it was like my brother. I always talk about my brother. He was really good at football. I was really good at football. So naturally, it's like, I'm going to do what he do. If he play football, I'm going to play football. But then I got to a point where I wanted to kind of figure out what I wanted to do for myself, because it's very hard when you create a passion from someone else's. So if you're following after someone who has a passion for whatever it is, but you only have the passion because of them, it's not good. So for me, I'm learning how to record my own audio. I'm learning how to configure and how do I say, not even configure. I'm learning how to get my books done and put in proper format so that I can release them. I'm learning how to, record my own show, so that as I learn, the more I learn, the better I'm going to be able to teach them if that's what they want to do. But like I said, I was talking to them about what they wanted to do. So my oldest, he's always been into fashion. He's always been into art. So for him, that's what he wants to do. My second son, he wants to be an engineer or architect. My son King, he wants to be a music producer, and my youngest son wants to be a gamer. So for me, I have to now say, okay, cool. I'm watching you prepare for this. So these are things that I've watched my kids prepare for. That like from the time from the time they were walking and talking, like a lot of people say, they want to be the police officers. They want to be the normal things. You all know those. My kids, through their actions, I've always seen what they wanted to be. Well, my oldest two. My oldest son, no matter what, when he start being able to dress himself, he's always had style. He's always wanted to draw on stuff, scribble on the wall, stuff like that. My second son, he's always broken things, put them back together since I can remember. He's into robotics. So naturally, okay, cool, what do you want to do? I haven't said, well, you're going to do this because this. I see them grow and I see them move and I see them do these things, and it's like, oh crap, like this is all right, cool. So when I talk to them, I didn't say, oh, I watched you do this and this is what I think you should do. I said, hey guys, what do you like? I said, well, if you can get anything for Christmas or whatever, like what is your one big gift this year? What do you want to do? And everybody said, their things, and I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm like, it was refreshing to me because they know early what they want to do. You see what I'm saying? I'm 37. I'll be 38 in November. When we were younger, it was you're playing sports, period. It wasn't no, you want to be a gamer, you want to be a computer tech, it was none of that. It's, you are going to play sports and go to school, and then whatever happens from that happens. We didn't grow up in a time where knowing what you wanted to be when you grew up was a big thing. It was just wanting to be alive. You see what I'm saying? So it's refreshing that I can talk to my kids and see what they want to do, and then I don't have to force it on them. I don't have to force their passion. You know what I mean? They're not passionate about sports. Like, I love sports. I played football, ran track. I played basketball for a hot, 2-3 weeks. But I love playing sports. That was my thing. And then I found poetry. I love playing the trumpet. But music interfered with sports. And again, I came up in an era where sports was more important. I do wish that I stuck with my trumpet and stuff like that, because it goes along with what I'm doing and who I am today. So again, I know I keep getting lost in the sauce, but so for my children, it's about preparation. So they're 14, 12, 10, and 8, right? And they have this passion that their creative passion is what I just stated: art, architect, music producer, gamer. The only thing that I can do is get them the equipment that they need to do those things, to keep them prepared, so that when they get older, and not even when they get older, because there's a lot of people who I know at young ages got to the point of where they were trying to get to in their creativity, where they make millions of dollars and this, that, and the other. So it's not even, when they get older. It could be next year. It could be next week. I don't know. But it's about preparation and being prepared for the next thing. So I'm bringing my kids up because I've been watching them over the years. And they're prepared to to be these things. These are not things that just jumped out of the blue. So when they say these things to me, it's like, all right, cool. It's not a surprise. It's not like, oh man, now I gotta research equipment and blah, blah, blah. No, I've been researching equipment because I've been seeing them as they grow older, the things that they do. Like, it just hasn't changed. They've grown up and done more mature things, but their passions have not changed. Excuse me. My oldest is always fashion. It's always been fashion. It's always been art. Always. My second son, it's always been, he's always wanted to be Iron Man. That's Iron Man / Tony Stark. It's always ever wanted to do. So now when we're like fast forward to last week, it's like, nah, I want my equipment to be able to do this. I want my equipment to be able to do that. So that's what I mean about being prepared for the next level. If they never talked about fashion or never were into fashion or never were into robotics or architects or music or gaming, and then I, out of the blue, was like, yo, I'm about to get you a laptop so you can be a gamer. I'm about to get you a beat machine so you can make beats. I'm about to, get you a sewing machine and this, that, and the other. And I'm about to get you a 3D printer. It'll be like, for what? Like, what are you talking about? That's what I mean about being prepared for the next level. So now they have done research and they have been living their lives in their minds. They have been living their lives as the thing that is their passion. So now, actually having tangible equipment to do that, it does nothing but prepare them for their next level of their business. I think that we should have, like, if I could go back, if I could send my mom back in time to change something, I guarantee my mom would change the fact that sports was so heavy in our life. Like, seeing who we are today, me and my two older brothers, because my mom has 3 kids, we're all entrepreneurs. I mean, yeah, we all work because we have families and stuff like that. But at the heart of everything, we're all doing something that we grew up wanting to do, but not, kind of didn't have the nurturing for it then, because again, the era that we grew up in, it wasn't no time for that. It wasn't no time to be trying to be creative. You gotta stay alive. And so it's important that it's important that we just know preparation. It's important that we are encouraged enough to do the things that we're passionate about, not be afraid to share them with people, but also being prepared for opinions, being prepared for people not to like what you're doing or not to care for what you're doing, and just understanding that, okay, cool. 9 times out of 10, people may not like it, but then you might do something else and be like, oh, that's the best thing going. And I've said this many times before. Me and my brother talk about it all the time. It only takes one. Unfortunately, it's like I mean, I'm a dad, so it is what it is. It's like on Zootopia. It's like on Zootopia when that fox was selling the popsicles, right? And the gerbils came out, and everybody was going home. One gerbil happened to look the other way, like, oh, ice cream. And then the rest of the line started to follow to get the ice cream. Now, that's how it is in the real world, and I don't know if a lot of people see it. I could be doing this, like, I'm doing this podcast right now. This is week 8 for me, right? And I don't get many views. I get 3, 4, 5 views maybe, and I'm cool because I'm releasing for me. People like me, like somebody's gonna find this one day. One day I'm gonna do a podcast that's gonna be so epic that somebody's gonna retweet it, right? And then then everybody's going to be like, man, what is that? Let me see this. Let me see it. And then those 4 views and 5 views are going to turn into 500 views, 1,000 views and stuff like that. But I've been me. I've been doing it. So I encourage people to not be afraid to fail. Be prepared for somebody to be like, that is the worst thing I've ever seen. That is the worst thing I ever heard. Be prepared for them to say, that sucks, that's whack, that's garbage, whatever. Because somebody's going to hear it, see it, want it, believe in it, and be like, all right, cool. And a lot of times those people, they're afraid to acknowledge and support because they're afraid to be the first one. And it is what it is. So for me, I prepared myself for that. I don't care if anybody likes or dislike anything that I do, as long as I'm not being disrespectful, or as long as I'm not coming from a place of malice in anything that I do, I could care less. Because that, like, I'm delivering to you what I feel is something that I like. I'm delivering to you something that I believe in. So no matter if you tell me if it's ugly or not, I'm not going to change that particular thing. Now, I might, if you tell me, man, I feel where you're going, but that was kind of, I don't know. I would probably attempt to create something else, not replace what I felt was something that was good for me. And I would just let it be that. I would just let it be that, because at the end of the day, we all have to reach people how we reach people. And if you believe that you're trying to help someone, you can't be discouraged when you have opposition. Like, it's just all about how you prepare for your journey. It's all about how you want to. It's all about the fight you have in you and what you're willing to go through to get your message across to the people, get your product out, or whatever it is. It's all about the strength that you have and the willingness you have to continue to go, and your reasoning for doing, what you're doing. I know that I'm about to read this real quick. It's something that was on my mind, and I knew I wasn't going to remember it outright. So I wrote this down. The requirement to accept change does not match the tools we are giving access to be able to maneuver throughout said change. Life is hard, and the world changes day by day by day, second by minute by hour, and we're not given the tools to maneuver. We have to think on the fly, and we have to fight through all this confusion, all this chaos. We have to get through it and maintain life. And it's very, very hard. But I just encourage my people, my creatives, men, women, kids. I just encourage you to keep fighting through. Keep fighting through. I know sometimes everything, things can be very, very hard, but we have to keep fighting for what we believe in. We have to keep, moving forward and progressing and just loving what we're doing and having that battle with ourselves of should we do it or should we not? And once we're to that level, just do it. We're not going to, the tools aren't there. A lot of times the tools aren't there, and we have to create these tools. And a lot of times, I'm learning this. Something that I'm doing today could possibly not be for me. I could be learning something today to teach my kids. I could be learning something today that I will never use until it's time for me to have grandkids, and I have to tell them that. So the key is just being prepared. Understanding what you're getting yourself into and being strong enough to deal with opposition, but being stronger enough to deal with praise. That's all I got for you today, people. Thank y'all for tuning in. Please comment, leave questions, hit me up on IG, Poetic Properties Podcast, on Twitter, Poetic Properties, and that's Follow my apparel page, Peacefully Flawed Apparel on IG, and Peacefully Flawed on Twitter. And again, I thank you guys for tuning in. I want to leave you guys with another poem by no one other than myself, Kamplexx the Poet. Love you.
Listen, you are more than the air I breathe. Your relevance to me is more than living, more than giving my soul for you the earth will be conquered. I am your gladiator, Maximus. Scream for me, yell my name, not because I'm hitting your spot, but because you find comfort in my aggression. And if I'm pressing you too hard, I can pull back, just say so. I know stop, so if you say no and want me to leave, I'll be back on the block like Legos. But if you want me to caress your body, I'll mold it like Play-Doh on a pottery platform. If you cold my love, I'm that warm, I'm that calm you need in the midst of that storm you've been through for that long. In my arms, I want you to feel at home, please, because in the midst of my needs, I need to know you're happy, more ecstatic than ever. It hurts me when I observe you having a hard time feeling yourself, so until you get that together, I'll love you better. Love you whenever and then ever through every endeavor. No matter the obstacle, we will weather the weather. Whether it's sunshine or a downfall through an abundance of gray clouds, I know this seems like a rerun, but hey now, all I ask is that you stay down, because it's for sure I'ma stay. You are heaven to me, the closest thing to my dream since Guapalate. Let my soul operate. I can wait forever and be lost in the meantime. This means I'm here for eons of dream time, letting love ovulate, birthing freedom between the two of us, speaking bilingual, communication, and fluent trust, because you and I are the king and queen of everything that we survey. This is a piece of cake. Tomorrow doesn't matter. Let's just chill and breathe today. Exhale and recreate. Learn how to appreciate each other in the essence of true beings. My new being, what you seeing is a mirage, an illusion of twisted deception, afflicted affection, affecting the positive purpose. It's obviously working because I complained about the rain, complained about never having no change, and until now, I never chose to change. I swear if all lips touch, I'd have never spoken again. But since they never touched, I have never spoken again. Slow is the pain that haunts my mental chambers. Danger mixed with passion and anger. I lust for your body like a forbidden fruit. I am into you, ready to taste your essence, to catch your rhythm, to feel your cloud rain on my umbrella. Ready to evaluate the firmness of your peace, change your fluent speech into a stutter, all in the midst of morning, while the sun rises, surprisingly enhancing your natural beauty.